Campbells Comments. Now, catching up firstly with Colleen Boyington. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Might have had a couple of outtakes that I won't be showing you, but I'm rapt to be catching up with you. Firstly, just for a chat, because I think you're a great person just to talk to, but also just recently been announced the Employee of the Year for the year 2020 through to 2022. Congratulations on that, and welcome to Campbell's Comments.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, what a surprise.
It was a little bit of a surprise. A few people may have known about it, they tell me, or you were just saying to me just there.
Yeah, Macca obviously knew because he wanted me to change our holiday, but he wasn't telling me that, and I wasn't changing our holiday, so yeah, so I didn't know, but there was a few others that did.
But you went off on a holiday, and I just caught up with Steve. Steve's interview will have gone up a few days earlier. This one will probably go out over the weekend. I want to catch up. I suppose we'll come back to where you are right now here at Shepparton as your Employee of the Year. But your harness racing experience, obviously you're married to Steve Boyington, but
Yes.
you are from a harness harness family
Yes.
through and through, aren't you?
Yes. Dad's always had horses. I can't even talk about Mum because it gets me upset because she'd be wrapped with this.
You're allowed to get upset. I'll give you a sec to catch your breath.
Mum's a life member here, and my dad used to be the curator here. Michael is a track curator now, and I've been here for 24 years.
As an employee?
Not really to start with, just volunteer and that, and then Di Hutchins asked me to help in the committee room one night, and I've been here ever since, and that was 24 years ago.
So your involvement with horses?
Yes.
How did that was that only just following Mum and Dad around? Or?
Yeah, Dad was always racing horses everywhere, so we used to go too. And then as teenagers, we still went along all the time. And then I met Stephen, and so yeah.
He said to me over there in the interview that you are still yet to work a horse for him. Have you ever worked a horse?
No, not for Stephen. No,
Have you worked one for Dad?
I have for Dad.
Yep.
Yes.
Is there a reason you don't work them for Steve?
I think he's a faster horses than what Dad's used to be.
He'll be happy with that as an answer then. I thought it might have been you're scared
and
of him.
now I am too scared. I think if you're scared out there, there's no point being out there. So I don't mind doing yards and waters and washing the harness and
He said all that. Yep.
doing all that stuff, but I will not work them.
He said he'd be lost without you as well, so he gave you a big rap, which
Nice.
he would be. So your love of harness racing just basically because brought up, grown...
Yeah, it was always the family. That's what Dad did. That's what Mum always helped out. So there's 6 of us kids, so we were always dragged along too. So yeah, always been in it.
To enjoy. What is it that you like about them?
I love the thrill of racing them. I love that part. I love all the people actually. I love, even when it was COVID, I loved that, being at the gate and meeting everyone and yeah.
Standing out there under the marquee this time of year was character building for you too.
It was, and that was from you, Paul, because when COVID first happened and no one knew what was going to happen and we had to race at Bendigo, and so I said, I'm going over there to see what you guys do.
That's right, yeah.
And you were one of the first ones at the gate, and you had your pens stuck in a little thing and everyone had this something. And then I took that from there and thought, we need a marquee, but I didn't think it would go for as long as it did. I really only thought we'd be there for like 2 or 3 months. But
That night you come... It's funny the things you remember. It was a horrible night too, wasn't it? It was wet and windy, and they had the marquee. They ended up with a hut.
Yes.
They went better than you. You guys still stuck with the marquee, but your marquee did have sides.
Yes,
so,
our marquee had sides, had a heater once, and we had lights. We used to. Yeah.
But that actually nearly typifies the passion you have for your job, if you like, and for the industry, because you're like, well, I've got to do it, so we've got to see.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine you would have come back and said, right, well, we're not going to do that part of it, but there's parts of it. That's how you grow it.
Yeah, we just, each place that Stephen raced at, I'd see what they do and just think, oh, we could do that or change that a little bit. But yeah, so I'd have to say, and you said to me that night at Bendigo, don't get out of the car, because no one knew then that you weren't allowed out of the car. And you said, stay in the car, and we all filled out these forms and handed them back to you guys. And I thought, oh, how good's that? You don't get out of the car. No one's getting infected or anything, because if they've got, you just turn them around before they get out of the car. And it was so easy to do it. No one had a horse or a sulky or anything to pull in. You just got them in the car. And you said that to me. Stay in your car. Don't panic. We'll just get these forms.
You're making me sound good. I just do as what Eric would have told me or whoever. It does. It's interesting because the reason we're here in the Shepparton club rooms, and it's one of the reasons I wonder what you guys have been able to achieve here, if you like. But it's that part, that COVID part, like, and that's effectively when you've been voted the employee.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. Yeah.
And they're the sorts of things that employees don't sign up for because, I mean, all of a sudden you're working here, then there's a pandemic and people have got to stand in the front line, basically. They've got to, you don't know if the next person's going to be infected and it's going to shut Shep down.
No, well, at the start we didn't know what was going, like, to be honest, everyone thought, God, is this going to really make us all sick or whatever? Yep. But, yeah, no, I was happy to be, and I loved it out the front gate, talking to everyone and meeting everyone. And then when we went into our zones, that was really good too. And, so I really enjoyed that part of it.
You enjoy the challenges of change?
Probably. Some changes, yeah.
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 So you started here, 26 years ago?
24 years ago. My youngest was 2 and he's now 26.
As a casual employee? Or
just as a casual behind the bar and the committee room and, yeah.
And it's changed a lot? Like, I mean, you actually look that way.
We used to be downstairs and now we're up here in this beautiful room. It's much better. Yeah.
And now it's a full-time job?
Yes.
And you enjoy it? Like, you don't enjoy it, you love it, don't you?
Yeah. I do enjoy it, yeah. Yeah. But I do also, I'm very lucky, like I can pick my own hours so I can still go to the trots with Stephen if I want to and then just do other hours. You
don't just do race meetings here though?
No, we do a lot of functions. We had a 30th here about 2 weeks ago. We have weddings, sometimes we have funerals, we have wakes,
I've actually been here when there was one of those, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So we do, lots of different things.
Many trotting people get married at a trotting track?
Yes.
They do?
Yes. We've got one booked in next year in March.
Right. I won't ask. Good luck to the connections. It's all good. I'm happily married. It's fine. Don't actually have the wedding ring on. I better not show that. And I don't either. That's your fault. I left that behind. So you just love the trots, don't you?
Yeah.
So you've actually got your own job. That's the key, the best part, because you get to work here.
Yeah, I get to work here. I do behind the bar, or if they need someone down at the gate, I do that. I've done most of the jobs. I think the only, Glenn Douglas always says to me, is there anything you don't do? And I said, I haven't been the swab steward yet.
It's funny, I was just wondering that myself, yeah. So that's the only job you haven't done here?
That's probably...
Driven the tractors?
No, I haven't done that. I don't think they'd let me do that on race night.
Mick's just like, don't even encourage us.
Probably not.
So she'll get nervous.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big night for the Shepparton Harness Racing Club too, because you won the best event?
Yeah, the Pacing for Pink, yes.
Which was the year before. We've just got over one of those as well.
Yeah.
But I know on that day you get right behind it. This year you actually had the full-on pink suit going and everything like that. But it's grown and continually gets bigger and bigger.
It was massive. It is so big. And Marg Watson and Sissy, and then Stacey Towers, and on the day it's just amazing to watch, because the first time last year when they had it here, I thought, how are we going to do all this? And all these girls arrived, Anne O'Donoghue, Julie Duffy, Jane Peakin, everyone arrived in pink, Anita Breen, and just said to Sissy, what are we going to do?
Yep. And
it was just done. It was so good. And this year was the same. I wasn't so worried this year because I thought these girls are all going to arrive on the day. And but Sissy drives it, and Marg Watson, they are just incredible.
But you guys
I only play a little part of that.
Well, you say that, but you guys obviously make it easy. I mean, and it gets logistically a little bit hard, because up here where we are right now is actually closed off to the public, which always browns off the trotting people.
It does, because they don't like being locked out of this room. But on sometimes we just have to, and then we still have downstairs open for the public, that they can still go and get a meal or a drink or have a bet, but they still don't really like being locked out of this room.
But I didn't, and I mean, I was only down the front with a microphone, so a lot of people were scared to come near me anyway, but I didn't hear any complaints this year. The year before, I heard a few people saying about it, but this year, everyone knew, and the old facilities was completely opened up for people to be able to go there, they didn't miss out on anything.
No. So the first year we only opened up Boyo's, which is only a little room down there, and that wasn't probably fair on the public. This year was different. It was Mother's Day, and we probably didn't even need the real big room open because Mother's Day you either decide you've already booked, you don't just call in for Mother's Day kind of thing. But but we opened it all up because we didn't want harness racing people to think that we're not including them and locking them out. But upstairs here it was massive. It was booked out and everyone had a lovely time, and it's a great thing to come to, and everyone's very happy to.
If you say it the wrong way, we say some words the wrong way, but they take the wrong. But it is actually a celebration. Now I know it's to make awareness of breast cancer, but it is a celebration. Everyone is very happy, and they're up. But there's so many sad stories, and I think the last race there was a very touching story from memory. That
Pam McDonald, who was suffering from breast cancer, and her horse won. Yeah. The last race. So,
but it was still taken as a celebration. No one sort of said, "Oh, you've got breast cancer." It was all, well, how good is this day? And it is brilliant. It's what harness people do.
They're very good at. We are really good at that, I reckon, harness racing people. If anyone's in trouble, there's always someone that'll help. Yeah. Or have a yarn to them, And
that's what gets, a girl from, where were you born? Around this?
Kyneton.
Kyneton.
Yeah, from Newham, Hanging Rock area.
Wow, this is like a heat wave when you come in compared to those places. But like you've been here most of your life, from as long as I've known you. And I think
34 years I've been here.
Yeah, so it must make you proud that a little club here, like you get someone like Glenn McGrath and those.
Oh, that was amazing. That was all. Marg Watson did all that, and he was so wonderful. Like he was only supposed to stay for 2 hours. I think he stayed for nearly 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, someone said, "Oh, the latest you can leave is 5:30," and I looked at my watch and it was 5:30. I'm thinking that's come and gone. And
he was so accommodating, and what a wonderful man.
But that must make you proud, because a guy like him, if he wasn't comfortable or didn't enjoy, so from a club's point of view, and what you're put in charge, to look after, you must get pretty proud about those sorts of things.
Yeah, no, that was really good, and he was such a nice bloke. I couldn't believe, what a nice bloke he was. But
it was he had a switch, didn't he? Because when he done his speech up here, he was his professional Glenn McGrath, and after that, not a bad switch. He was just so much more. Oh, what do you want me to do? And
Lisa Miles, whose little boy is
Alfie.
Not little boy, big boy is in England.
We get older.
Cricket.
We get older as they grow up. I know.
Playing cricket, and she snuck in and said to me, "Colleen, I need him to sign this cricket pattern. I'd really like a photo, because Alfie won't get in touch with me. But if I send a photo and I'm standing with Glenn McGrath, he'll be like, 'What the hell, Mum?'" And I went, "Okay, let's ask him." And we asked him, he went, "No worries." And he had a chat to her, and where's he playing? And I thought, how good was that? We didn't even have to beg him or anything.
One of the funnier ones I did see on the day was John McLean, and Johnny done a great job. So please, he donated breaking in. About 3 things I think he donated in.
And he bought a lot.
Well, he bought a bicycle, a Malvern Saar bicycle that was just a nice blue bicycle with some white trim on it and white wheels. Yeah. But once Glenn McGrath signed it, was already worth more money. So you got a rough idea what Johnny was up to. He would have gone home and gone onto eBay.
Yes. I actually think he was giving that to his daughter.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not as much fun. But my story's more fun, don't you reckon?
He came and picked it up, and I said, "What do you do with that?" He said, "I'm going to give it to my daughter." So I think he did. Yeah, but he spent a lot of money, and he donated everyone did. I can't believe how many people. The donations just kept rolling in, and all that to auction and to raffle and everything. It's just amazing.
That must make you proud. You're the same year you're employed, or same 2 years, and that's only through COVID that it's ended up for that 2 years, because they didn't have it the 2021 season. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no one's officially told me that one. I just sort of worked that one out.
Well, I'm guessing, no one's officially told me, but I guess that's right. We'll go with
that. But at the same time, as your club, you're honoured as the employee for the year. We'll say for the year, even though it's 2. You win that award as well with the events, which you've had a lot to do behind. I know you're going to say the other girls, but it must make you very, very proud. Probably something you weren't expecting 22 years ago when you started working here.
No, not at all. No, it's a bit humbling, really.
I love it. I love your smile. You're meant to smile that way. You have got a great. I've known you for a long time.
I've got a big mouth, Paul.
So have I. I've got my own channel. Don't worry, it's not as big as mine. Mine just keeps going. You got enough to worry about.
You got a big smile. It's really, you got a big mouth. Yeah.
You've got the smile. You might as well show it. So don't worry about that. What's next? You're gonna be here for a fair while. I hope Mac will be watching this bit. He'll be like, "Oh, I hope she says yes to this."
I'm not going anywhere. I think I'm too old to go anywhere else. And but I do have 2 little granddaughters now, so they take up a little bit of my time, and I love seeing them and looking after them when I can. But no, I'll be here for when they say to me, "You're too old, you better move on."
Are you proud of the family involvement with this whole play? Like you say about
Yeah.
2 granddaughters, there's every chance they could end up growing up through the club. Like, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
did the interview with Steve, and that's your dad's old barn. Like, I mean, how long you guys have been entrenched here at the Shepparton Harness Racing Club?
And Michael's the track curator, and and the kids come out and watch the trots, and the boys have got syndicates horses with Stephen, and we know so many people through harness racing, and my daughter's a nurse, and she'll often say, "Oh, the people that she sees that are in harness racing, that she's not allowed to tell me that they're in there in the hospital or whatever, but she goes, everyone says, how come you know so many people?" But she said it's only from harness racing.
Yeah.
That
Like
she
Trev's the
must know.
farrier as well.
Oh, my brother's a farrier out the back, so.
Yeah,
And Julie, my sister's married to Patrick Ryan, so he's
I know.
a trainer.
It gets very, very convoluted. Anyone trying to follow this, we need a family tree, but it'll take a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is like Shepparton Harness Racing Club is, you know, pretty much to the mules. You know, you're a Boyington, but I mean, and you know, like it's got that real mule feel. And I've been fortunate enough to work. I think it was one night when you had your mum's memorial here.
Oh, yeah, that's always a big night.
I've never. It's as many people as I see come out onto a track. And I shouldn't say that. There's probably some that you see a lot more. Pure horse people. Like I could nearly have rattled off every person as a harness person. You see them at the races more than just those times, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I have 18 nieces and nephews, and there's usually 12 to 18 of them here that night. We have a big Christmas family get together, and on that night we announce what date Nan's race is, and everyone's to be here, and they all really do try their best to get here.
Yep.
And so we have a great night that night.
Yeah, do indeed. Cole, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
reckon it's great, and you know, I think it's really well done to Trots. What are they? Trots Club Victoria? Is that the right one? Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, well done to them for recognising it too, because I think, you know, people work tirelessly, and there'll be a lot of other people saying, "Oh, this person deserved it," and all the rest. But there won't be too many argue that you haven't deserved it, I must say. So,
Oh, that's nice.
no,
Nice.
I think it's well done, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.